Hey guys, welcome back to the Fergie Time Podcast. Today I'll be sharing with you my Match Week 11 Premier League predictions. Before we jump into my Match Week 11 predictions, I want to do a little recap of Match Week 10. In Match Week 10, I got 2 out of 10 predictions correct, moving my total to 46 out of 98. Also, I want to give a major shout out to this week's winner, Serenin, who got 6 out of 10 predictions correct. If you guys would like to be featured in next week's video, make sure to share your Match Week 11 score predictions down below in the comments, and the person with the most predictions correct will receive a shout out. For our first match, we have Burnley versus Everton. Burnley are coming off a 5-0 loss to Manchester City and currently sit in a really bad spot in the table, 19th with only 5 points in their first 9 matches. They're also tied for the fewest goals scored with just 4, and going forward are so predictable. I think everything is over the top, it's direct, and it's into Chris Wood, whose finishing has been very poor. Versus an Everton side coming off a 1-0 loss to Leeds, and they really struggled as they have 4 losses in their last 5 matches. Surprisingly, under Ancelotti, this Everton defense has struggled, and recently they switched to a 3-4-3 after injuries to Digne and Seamus Coleman, but with their subpar center backs, it hasn't really worked out. That said, I do have Everton picking up the win 2-1 on odds of 10-11. Manchester City versus Fulham. Manchester City are coming off a 5-0 win against Burnley, and going forward are starting to figure it out. In the absence of Aguero, they initially struggled, but the likes of Ferran Torres and Riyad Mahrez have really stepped up. In the back, the addition of Ruben Dias has really helped City. They look much more organized, and I expect them to start moving up the table. Versus the Fulham side coming off an impressive 2-1 win over Leicester City, and they were successful by playing a little more defensively and dropping off the ball, getting numbers behind, and sitting in a 5-4-1. That said, Fulham have conceded the most goals in the Premier League, and that is not a good statistic to have going against a lethal City attack. So I have Manchester City winning the match 3-0 on odds of 1-10. West Ham versus Manchester United. West Ham are coming off a 2-1 win over Aston Villa and are off to a superb start in the Premier League season, sitting 5th in the table. On top of that, they're coming off 3 straight wins, and they've excelled defensively this season, to my surprise, with the 3rd fewest goals conceded in the Premier League. Versus the Manchester United side coming off a crazy comeback win over Southampton, and United may have just found their number 9 as Cavani stays central and is able to poke in service from Bruno and others. That said, United have played a lot of games recently, namely in the Champions League, and I think we'll have tired legs going into this one. So I have it ending a 1-1 draw on odds of 13-5. Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea are coming off a 0-0 draw against league-leading Tottenham Hotspur and play a beautiful, expansive, possession-oriented style of football, but at times lack end product in the final third. That said, defensively this season, Chelsea have been absolutely superb, with the likes of Mendy and Thiago Silva, new signings, really leading the way. Versus the Leeds side coming off a solid 1-0 win over Everton, and they're a well-managed team with good playing style and a unique style at that as well. That said, they are very wasteful with their chances, and I don't think they score at a high enough rate against a very good defensive Chelsea side to actually make an impact in this one. So I have Chelsea winning this one 2-0 on odds of 8-15. West Brom versus Crystal Palace. West Brom are coming off a 1-0 win over Sheffield United, and they are a very scrappy team that fights for everything they are given. They're also a team that often struggle in defensive transition, and I think something Palace can capitalize on is they have some really good players in transition like Zaha, Ayew, and Townsend. Versus the Crystal Palace side coming off a 2-0 loss to Newcastle United, and when they play without Zaha, they really struggle going forward as no one else can really find the back of the net. That said, this Palace side have a very good defensive setup, but this season haven't been able to find an appropriate center back pairing. I have Palace still getting the win though, 1-0 on odds of 31-20. Sheffield United versus Leicester City. Sheffield United are coming off a 1-0 loss to West Brom, and they're the only team in the Premier League yet to win a match. They only have 1 point in their 10 matches so far. Really poor start for them. And they're lacking clinical ability and cutting edge up top to bury their chances. On top of that, they're going to need to turn things around quickly because otherwise relegation will become a very realistic possibility. Versus the Leicester side coming off a surprising 2-1 loss to Fulham, and they dominated large parts of the match early, but they gave up 2 sloppy goals and ultimately didn't finish their chances. And for me, what became apparent is that without Soyuncu, without Ndidi, this Leicester team is much worse defensively. That said, I do expect them to bounce back, and I expect Vardy to get back on the score sheet. I have Leicester winning 3-1 on odds of 19-20. Next up, we have the North London derby, Tottenham Hotspur versus Arsenal. Tottenham Hotspur currently sit atop the Premier League table and are coming off a 0-0 draw to Chelsea, and while they don't play a beautiful style of football, they are very efficient, and under Jose Mourinho this season, they have been the best team defensively in the Premier League, conceding the fewest goals. And I think they will also kill Arsenal in the transition on the counter-attack, as that is where Arsenal tend to struggle. Versus an Arsenal side that currently sit 14th in the Premier League table, and they have tons of pressure to pick up form under Mikel Arteta. the players like Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe have all struggled and need more clinical ability up top. And for me, this match will really show whether these players like Mikel Arteta and whether they are willing to fight for him, and I think that's very important from a managerial standpoint. But I have Tottenham eking out the win 1-0 on odds of 19-20. Another really good match, we have Liverpool versus Wolves. Liverpool are coming off a 1-1 draw against Brighton and are dealing with tired legs as they have been playing twice a week with little depth available due to injury. I think with adversity, they will need Jordan Henderson to step up, and he will be a key for them in terms of keeping the lads focused, keeping them on point, but also controlling the middle of the park, making things easier for them by keeping the ball. Versus the Wolves side coming off a 2-1 win over Arsenal. They are a very solid team defensively this season and will make it difficult for Liverpool to break lines and by just remaining compact. I think that said, they will be missing Raul Jimenez, which will be a major blow, and I just want to say I hope he has a speedy recovery after that nasty skull injury. That said, they're going to need the likes of Podence and Adama Traore to really step up in this one and supply those goals that Raul Jimenez usually does. I had this match ending a 1-1 draw on odds of 10-3. For our final match, we have Brighton versus Southampton, and Brighton are coming off a 1-1 draw against Liverpool. This Brighton side is very solid and they can play pretty football, move the ball well, very open and expansive. That said, they are poor in defensive transition because of this. And I think a key for Brighton in this match will be controlling the midfield battle, as Southampton are also a side that like to look and play. Versus the Southampton side coming off a 3-2 loss to Manchester United, and like I said, they play some pretty football under manager Ralph Hasenhüttl. But they're very buttoned up defensively, the Southampton side. You know, they have a very good center back in Vestergaard who holds it down in the back. And on top of that, they have Ward-Prowse roaming the midfield, who really is a great presence there. And on top of that, you know, he's fantastic on set pieces, as we saw against Man United. So he's always a threat from a dead ball. I have Southampton winning this match. I expect it to be high scoring, open, 3-2 to Southampton on odds of 19-10. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to share your Match Week 11 score predictions down below in the comments to be featured in next week's video. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more amazing football content. We will end it there. Thank you and take it easy. Peace.
I see the blue in her eyes from the sunshine. See the purple in her heart when it's nighttime. She just wanna be in her right mind. She couldn't give a damn about the limelight. So orchestrate your downfall every time the sun sets and you know it's nightfall. Close your eyes and free fall, 'cause I'ma need another sunset.